Alright, in this video we are going to go over NFT collections in a broad sense. In watching this video, I hope that you learn a lot about creating an NFT collection if you are an NFT creator, but it should also help you if you're an NFT investor, because it will give you a good big picture overview of the different parts that make up an NFT collection, how they work, and that might tell you why some NFT collections are better than others, and just, have you know what to look out for and better understand what people are talking about. I think the first thing we have to address is why create and launch an NFT collection in the first place. And my reason for that is I think NFTs are fun, they're interesting and cutting edge, and they're hopefully profitable. I find NFTs to be fun because what they are is they're essentially immersive theater on the internet. They're cartoons for adults. You get to draw again, you get to make animations again, you get to create communities with different personas again and kind of interact with one another if we're living in this kind of alternate reality. So that's just super fun to me. I've always liked kids' books, I've always liked Pixar movies, things like that, and this is again kind of like an immersive version of that has an economic tie to it, and it has that economic tie to it because it is interesting and cutting edge, because it is built on blockchain. So you're really at the forefront of where our economics and finance and gaming is moving. It's kind of interdisciplinary NFTs. You have storytelling, you have pure art, and you have coding, and then on top of that you have economics and finance. So it's cutting edge, and you're kind of at the forefront of all of those fields when you're playing in the NFT space, which is incredible. And then also, hopefully NFTs are profitable. Either they're profitable for you as a trader because you're identifying trends and the next hype thing before it launches, and you're buying them and you are selling them later for a profit. Again, none of this is financial advice. You can also completely get destroyed by buying NFTs and having them go down. I mean, I have most of my net worth in these random donuts and a picture of an ape right now, and as well in some Kia Sedonas, 2007 certified pre-owned Kia Sedonas they're not even actually that, they're just pictures of them. But anyway, not financial advice. It's just this idea of there's a trading game, and then if you're a creator, you would make an NFT collection because you set a price for the initial sale for the NFT minting, and that price goes to your wallet and your initiatives. And then also there are secondary sales on the market that you can code into the NFT smart contract, a little bit more on that later, a royalty. So anytime an NFT is traded on any of the marketplaces, because it's on a open platform that is Ethereum or another blockchain, I'm talking about Ethereum, your little smart contract will monitor that a sale is made, and it will take its percentage and send that back to you, the original creator. So yeah, NFTs, why you should create one is NFTs are fun, they're cutting edge and interdisciplinary, and hopefully they are profitable for you. Okay, so now I'm gonna go over kind of the main components that an NFT needs. Let's see, I'll list them and then we'll kind of go one by one. I think first you need to research the market, and you need to find your niche and your brand voice and your kind of name and your persona within the NFT space. So you have to set that up, and that kind of includes finding like a roadmap and what you're promising the community. Then you need to create the art for that NFT. Then you need to code the smart contract that has the NFT live on the blockchain and be freely tradable on OpenSea and all those types of things. There are no code ways to do NFTs for sure. You can launch on OpenSea and you can launch through other apps, but I'm a little biased, and I think you at this point should kind of figure out how to do it yourself. I personally didn't code our smart contract by any means. I partnered with a dev and I partnered with an artist, but it's good to you kind of make your own smart contract so you can set the parameters, and it just makes you a little bit more legit in this space to do it yourself rather than just mint directly through a platform. Okay, so you need to code, as I was saying, and then you also need a website, which is basically like your storefront, like any e-commerce store, and you need to make sure that website can connect to the smart contract code and represent your artwork correctly. Then beyond that, you need a place to seed your community, which is really, in my opinion, it's really Twitter, Discord, and possibly Telegram. Twitter is kind of your super public facing marketing that you're trying to get the word out there and spread it, and then once people find your project, they kind of flow through your Twitter and into your Discord, where the community itself interacts and takes on a life of its own outside of just you as the creator, mandating, hey, here's what we're doing, here's what we're doing. You let your community, you build your community, you seed your community, and they start telling you what you're doing and the project where it's going. Okay, so I kind of touched a little bit on all those there, but let's go more in depth. For the record, I'm going to use my NFT collection that I'm currently building as an example and an outline for this. I would love it if you support the project. It's called the No Fun Toads. I think it has a super bright future. The art is dope. We have incredible media like music videos and NFT news roundups every day, and I'm going to always keep toad holders in mind when I'm creating this type of project or doing any sort of project in the blockchain space. So if you're seeing this, check if there is mintable No Fun Toads available, and if not, check them out on OpenSea. Okay, researching the NFT space. You're gonna see that the NFT space has a big macro culture with its own lingo. It has things like WAGMI, we all gonna make it. It has things like GM, just good morning. So it has its own lingo, and it has its own general culture that is pretty weird, pretty degenerative, pretty risk tolerant. And you just kind of want to have fun with that. But then what I found, and this really started with the Bored Apes, is every collection has its own brand voice and its own culture within that collection. And you as an NFT creator have to find that brand voice that you think the market is missing and that people will gravitate towards, because in the end, making an NFT is not just about the art, it's about building a community around that. So think of it almost as immersive theater with animated objects on the internet or art pieces on the internet, trading cards. You need to build up a world for your collectors. A lot of NFT collections have roadmaps. You need to have that in your brand voice. You need to have that as part of your persona. You need to publicize that to the community. You know, No Fun Toads, we didn't opt for the roadmap, but that doesn't mean we're not doing anything. I just didn't opt for the roadmap because I think this is a long grind. I think it's all about community. I think I work better by having 2 North Stars, and those North Stars are let other people do what they love and also let people become sane and healthy and happy, and I think that is a good thing to have in the world. And if you can do that through NFTs and weird digital toads, why not? You need to create the art, and I often get the question, are you drawing 10,000 toads, or is the artist drawing 10,000 toads? Because I initially tried to draw them and that didn't work out too well, so I was like, we got to get someone much better, and now we have sweet toads. But the answer is no. You don't have to draw 10,000 different toads because that would take forever. You have to think of it like Legos. So what you do is you draw the base toads, and then you draw each characteristic, and you do it all on different layers. So you can use something like Procreate or Photoshop or Adobe Illustrator. And then you think of it like Legos, as I was saying, in that they kind of snap together to make the toads. And you don't even do that manually. While you could do that manually in like a Photoshop, just kind of layering them one on to the other. One, that would take forever as well, maybe not as long as drawing each of one, but it would still take a long time to do 10,000. But 2, you can write a Python script, the developer on our team did this, that essentially lists every trait. And here's where it's really important. You can list every trait and give it a percentage of randomness, like a percentage of how many times that trait should be generated. And then so you have like this distribution of common toads to uncommon toads, and the Python script kind of like spits out which traits each one has, and then it does this 10,000 times, or the amount of times you tell it to, and it combines them all together and outputs 10,000 unique toads, or whatever your NFT is, based on the traits and based on the rarity of those traits that you program in. So you look at the apes and have different traits and categories. So for instance, fur color would be a category, and then within that category you have different attributes or traits. So you have like brown, noise, psychedelic, etc. So what I think you need to do from the art part is actually first start by writing out your ideas, because you need these fun trait ideas. Make a Google Doc and break it down into the different categories. So like, you know, base skin color, background, hats, necklaces, eyes, whatever you can really think of, things they're holding in their hands, and list those out kind of from, in general, what you think should be most common to most rare. Try to get like 100 to 200 of them, and then start drawing them as individual layers with alpha backgrounds. So make sure that they match up in position. So like your base, like this toad, and his hands are like that, and then you want to draw the hand element on a new layer so that it fits as if the toad was holding it, completely fine. But you want to put it on a new layer, and then you export them all out with an alpha channel, and then that code kind of just layers them on to one another, and then you have those 10,000 generated toads. So there's the art of drawing it and the code of putting it together, which brings us to the next thing, which is the smart contract itself for the NFT collection. Now, again, I'm not a developer. I am relatively technical. I've taken like DAP University course and code websites and stuff, but we have a developer on our team, so I'm just going to give you the general concept of this rather than teach you how to code it. There are plenty of tutorials online on how to literally code it. I know this guy Patrick from Chainlink does a great one. I'll put some links in the description. Also, that said, I'll put a written version of this in the description, which will probably be a bit more thorough and thought out because I'm just chatting here. But okay, the smart contract for your NFT collection, think of it as, it's often referred to as the token factory. So think of it as this token factory that's up there living on the Ethereum blockchain, or I like to think of it as a randomized vending machine. So what you do is you basically code this is super oversimplified, and there's debate on what you do on chain and off chain, but I'm just not going to get into that. So you essentially code this little vending machine up on the blockchain to have all your traits that it knows where they're linked to on IPFS, or you can do that off chain, but it has all your traits. And it basically just says, if a wallet on the blockchain sends me this amount of Ethereum, you can set that as the creator what you want. So in our case, if a wallet sends 0.04 ETH, then randomly generate a toad based on the traits, just kind of make one at random and spit it back out to that wallet. So that wallet then gets the toad. And that's super fun for people who have the ability to find your project early and actually mint the NFT as opposed to browsing OpenSea, because there is that element of chance and luck and randomness. And that's super interesting for them because they're not only hoping that your NFT collection as a whole gains popularity and rises, they're also hoping, that they get that 1 in 10,000 toad that's just super rare and everybody thinks looks super cool, because that will sell at the ceiling rather than the floor. And so they kind of won the lottery because, in a sense, every toad is minted for the same price at the beginning for the initial sale, which goes to the creator. But then once they're revealed and put on OpenSea, every toad is selling at their market value. So those rare toads, for instance, might sell for a lot more, even though they were bought initially for the same price. So that's kind of the fun of it. Then once the smart contract mints the amount of NFTs that you tell it can mint, it essentially says, okay, we've minted 10,000, or we've minted 11,000, or we've minted 100 or 10, or whatever you want to set it to. It shuts off the buying, it's sold out, and then since it lives on the Ethereum blockchain, it essentially monitors for any toad sales on any of the marketplaces. That's the genius of blockchain and Ethereum, is that you're not locked into OpenSea. If OpenSea goes down, you can still sell your NFT on Rarible or any of the other marketplaces out there, or even just peer-to-peer. So it essentially monitors for those changes, and then it says, hey, if you coded a royalty in there, like it's common to do, say 2.5 to 7%, I would say probably max, that goes back to the original creator. So it just kind of sits up there and it monitors for secondary sales. And anytime anyone, anywhere is trading these NFTs, it says, hey, whoa, cool, 2.5% goes back to the creator. So you get, if it sells for 1 ETH later, you would get a 0.025 ETH that goes back to the contract and then goes to the creator wallet. All right, so you have your art, you have that art mashed together by code, you have your smart contract by code, and then just a few other things you need. You need a website, which is gonna be the basic UI to let people mint your toad. That's for the initial sale. So essentially you need a button that allows them to connect their wallet, the most common being MetaMask, and then it allows them to pay the set amount and mint a set number, that UI. So they just basically click a button, send, it goes up to the smart contract, sends them their toad. You also want that website to match with your art. I need to redo my website a little bit, but you show off your collection, you tell your little story, you give your roadmap or your North Stars in our case, and you just hope people mint from there. So you need that website that is Web 2 with a little bit of Web 3 injected. They call Web 3 the blockchain because it's like enables finances, not just information on the internet. So you have the Web 2 information and design, and then the Web 3 connection with that MetaMask mint button. Then other things you need are, again, the most important thing with NFTs is building a community, and you can build those communities on the most popular platforms. That's probably what you're going to want to do. Crypto Twitter is huge. NFT traders are on there all the time. They have their own lingo. Every collection has its own lingo and its own way of interacting on Twitter. And what you want to do is you want to grow up that Twitter, and then you send people from Twitter to, probably most common is Discord. Second would be Telegram. And in that, you let the community interact with one another. And what you want to do as the creator is really just facilitate that community to take this project where it should go. You're going to do everything you can to help the people in that community and have ideas and execute on those ideas, but ultimately the community is going to take this thing and run with it when it comes to the best NFT projects. So you really want to facilitate that as a creator and be a community builder. You want to be a community builder as an NFT creator, as well as an artist and a coder. So much going on here, so much fun. I hope that this video helped you. If it did, please give this channel a subscribe, because I'm going to be building all sorts of things in public on the blockchain, and I hope to give you insight into that. Also, I would absolutely love it if you check out if you can mint a toad from my site, or check them out on OpenSea if they're available. It depends on when you're watching this. But yeah, I really appreciate you watching this. Let's do cool things together. Bye.